Excellent. Intro time. Happy welcome to 2015 world. We're back after a year-long absence. We last saw you in 2014. So
damn, where did the time go?
I know, right?
You know, you are a dad now. Like, you fucking sneaking in the dad humor. I'm proud of you.
No, it was so weird. Like, people at work, they'd be like, "See you next year," and I'm like, "Man, they're gonna be gone for a long time." And I'm just like, "Wait a minute, no, they aren't."
That's tomorrow.
Did one of them then steal your nose and use their thumb in between their fingers and make you think it was actually their nose and you wanted
Maybe
it
they
back?
found a quarter behind your ear or something.
Oh my god, that is me right now. You know what the worst part is? You know those Walking Dead dad jokes where
yeah.
Rick,
those are amazing.
Those are amazing, but I laugh way too hard at those.
Where Rick has like a nervous breakdown at the end.
Yes. That is okay. Those questions have got me through like many lonely nights, just sitting there laughing hysterically by myself. So good.
I just lose it at those at work. I'm just like, there's not one of those that I haven't nearly shit my pants to.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. The one about the cigarette lighter was the best. I used that one in person.
I don't actually know what you guys are talking about, so.
You want me? I'll do it. I'll do it right now. I swear.
Please
memes
don't.
on the internet.
Oh, not memes on the internet.
Memes on the internet. That's right. Well, we're gonna go easy on Paul today because Paul's not feeling well, but he still decided to join us. So thank you for that. For coming in on the first FGC podcast of 2015. Got the exclusive.
Did we?
I don't think anybody. Who else had a show?
Obviously, the Fray did last Thursday on the 1st, right?
Damn.
What?
Yeah. Well, let's see. We're gonna start the year off right?
Yep, we're going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom 9. It was amazing.
I missed
Honestly, the big disappointment from that, though, was that the last match wasn't as good as the match before it.
Yeah, but you can't,
And, not like it was a bad match, it just,
you couldn't top Ibushi versus Nakamura. It wasn't
the best part was Nakamura's intro was even way better than, any of the others. He came out as the actual king of strong style.
Yeah.
He was the king. He had a cape and a crown and everything. It was amazing.
That Liberty crown was pretty sick.
I was really disappointed by Okada's entrance. I thought they were going to do something really big for him, and they didn't.
You needed to have 2 Raptors this time.
Right? And an even bigger Buster Sword. He really did that.
Oh, dear. In unrelated news, the Dota 2 launch stream is going nuts.
Is that the one Level Up is streaming?
Let's not talk about who's streaming it.
Oh, my bad. Excuse me. Oh, no. Well, what are they saying? If you feel at liberty to mention that.
Oh, you mean in the chat?
Well, you said they're going nuts. You can't just leave us with that.
Oh, they're saying that someone was asking if they were having a stroke.
What?
And apparently it's very choppy. So.
Yeah, the stream is terrible.
The stream is having a stroke. Okay.
I've been watching it for the past 3 hours. It's bad. Really choppy, really laggy. Audio delay. There's a fog or some bright light. That's. It seems like a lair.
It's fucking haunted, stupid.
Oh, it's haunted.
You don't gotta fucking be a
Ghost
technical
of
genius.
CES task, dude. Yeah. Come on.
Damn.
It's possessed. Somebody better call an exorcist.
But also going back to Wrestle Kingdom 9, I really enjoyed the 8-man tag match in the beginning. The 8 different people, 4 different tag teams.
Yeah, it was good.
It ended pretty much how I expected it to, despite me wanting the Bucks to win. But I mean,
I definitely think that I might have to actually get New Japan World now.
I'm thinking about it myself. I can't
Wait a minute.
catch these things live anymore.
Hold on, guys. Think of the sponsors. We have been pushing the sponsor forever, and now you mean to tell me you're pushing a competitor? Does this Wrestle Kingdom 9 not come in the $9.99 package?
It does actually. It's 999 yen.
It's actually
Wow.
99.
Which
is actually cheaper because
does it come on the network? Does it come
comes
with
on
the
New
network?
Japan
Is it
World
on the network? That is not the network.
But it's a separate network, and you could get both for only about $20 a month.
That is rather expensive.
Not really.
That is.
Just cut out your Netflix subscription. They just have garbage on there anyway.
Yeah. Netflix is pretty.
You know, you could have money for it if you started the Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That being
not
said,
touching Patreon. Not
Patreon.
today.
9.99 yen is only about 8.95 a head. Just kidding, it's 8.36. So it's actually cheaper. All your amazing language barrier but good wrestling needs.
Yeah.
But what about the wrestlers that accommodate to the American audiences, such as one Mr. Kenneth Omega?
Ah, yes. I mean, he's like
Keep
way
himself,
Japanese
Kenny Omega.
despite being Canadian.
What about that amazing finisher that he pulled off?
The one-winged angel.
Yeah.
Could you be any more spectacular in the name?
What about the saw? The chainsaw, man. Where he has the stubble on his arm and he like shaves their head away.
What?
Kenny
He has a
Omega
spot
is
where
literally an
He
anime
wraps up his
character.
arm like a chainsaw, and then he talks about how he shaves like his arm like a couple days before the match, so it grows back and it's just stubble on it. So he like scrapes away people's skin on their face with his arm. It's pretty hilarious. The reminder that this is a man whose signature move is the fireball and the EX fireball. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally the Hadouken.
So, plus the other thing is that, see, I would not actually discourage anyone from keeping the WWE network because the only thing WWE putting on that's good lately is NXT,
Oh
which
yeah.
is on the network. So,
I'm gonna say this though. It's never even been like a heel turn, despite us, doing it. I'm taking off the WWE shirt and I'm wearing a lion mark.
damn.
Say, baby.
Are you
Respect,
playing
respect.
Leo in Guilty Gear? Is that what it is?
Shin Nihon.
Kikaku? What? Huh? The future's now, baby.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Paul just doesn't understand what's so cool about that, man.
Think about it. It's like they make the best games and they have the best wrestling.
That is true. It's kind of hard to find better wrestling than Japan.
I have seen better wrestling in Fire Pro Wrestling.
Wow.
That's man.
I really
Also,
do think that
Ring of
NXT
Destruction?
has been really good.
Ring of Destruction's good actually.
NXT is definitely very much like old school American, almost NWA Southern wrestling, logical booking, no 20-minute interview skits that have stupid comedy shoehorned in them, or business suit Kane working a concession stand. Get that shit out of here, please.
What if
Just
he
a
wants
bunch
to wear a business suit and work a concession stand?
It's a bunch of people who care about competing because they want to win, and you build feuds off people who want championships, or just old-fashioned don't like each other.
Yeah. I can't wait
Wow.
for the feud where somebody steps on, Cena's sneakers and he just
Ladies
Oh,
and
he's got to
gentlemen.
pump them up again?
yeah.
Oh, God.
Come on, man. These are new.
Whatever has you under the weather, Paul, is having you channel the spirit of Jimmy Cornette, and that's not too bad.
Oh, I actually listen to Cornette's podcast every once in a while.
It's pretty
I
good.
love Cornette. He's a hateful motherfucker, but I share a lot of his opinions, actually. I know a lot of the stuff he want to do would not work, but I also think there's a lot of things that he wants to do that will work. Just
Yeah.
a lot of his overall booking vision is not perfect, but at the same time, there's a lot of small things you could take from it that Jim Ross also wants to do too. Like actually bring back cheating and just showing people as heels.
Yeah.
Yeah, like God, what's his name? I feel bad for this. He's the guy that always walks through the crowd because he doesn't know how to get to the ring. He always pulls out that rope like out of his pocket and he starts to strangle people with it.
Oh, the Repo Man.
I don't actually know who Anthony's talking about.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
talking
either.
about the
At first I'm thinking Roman Reigns, then he's got a rope in his pocket. Like,
Yeah, I was like, huh?
He's got a rope in his pocket, or maybe he's
I
just
think the
happy.
last
He's
time
happy
Anthony
to
watched
see everybody.
WWE was in the 90s.
Probably.
It's
Where's
like,
Duke the Dumpster these days?
I'm talking about New Japan anyways. Let me take a look.
oh, well, shit. You're not talking
Oh, I
about
thought you were
Edge.
talking about old Japan.
No. I'm talking about
Talking
New
about old-
Japan, not that old stuff. He's a part of what is this?
the best heel work the WWF has had, or WWE, whatever you want to call it, apparently was I haven't been watching Raw, but Seth Rollins is doing a really good job as just a complete shithead.
Well, apparently now he's a terrorist, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought a wrestler got kicked out of the WWF for doing that years ago.
Well, now it's okay if you're, not.
Does he have a Nasheed as his intro theme now?
No, like he's not. Like that's just the thing. Like he's the kind of terrorist that's like from Die Hard, and everybody's like, oh, that was a good villain. Jeremy Irons played just such a good terrorist,
Ah, yes, Jeremy Irons.
He's the Jeremy Irons kind of terrorist.
I feel like the best way they could have developed Rollins' character is that if he cashed in his money in the bank and pinned Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom 9.
I love how the entire chat was talking about that too.
I just think finally he cashes in.
He's been sitting on that for a while, dude.
Oh,
It's
God.
like he's got that money in the bank invested in a high yield bond or some shit. Like, I'm waiting on the return on this shit. Can't cash in too quick.
He's saving for when it becomes more of a a bear market, so that he can get a really good down payment on a house.
Rollins playing for the long game.
Well, if you look at it
You have
logically,
another Money in the Bank event until you cash that in. Now just cash it in already.
at what interval are they even going to let Rollins cash in? Because, at this point, they've lined up so many people to hold the strap before 2016 that...
Well, apparently, the main event for Royal Rumble has been changed as we are currently talking, because the show is on in the East Coast and Midwest. It's going to be Rollins versus Cena versus Lesnar.
What
so
the fuck?
That
I mean, okay,
would be
fine,
the
whatever.
time to do it.
Okay.
I mean, if you could do it a couple ways, to be honest. You could do Rollins cashes in at Rumble, Reigns wins the Rumble, Rollins versus Reigns, Shield explodes at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you're planning on keeping, there's always a lot of talk that Lesnar is not coming back after WrestleMania, so why not have him put somebody over to become a big thing at Mania?
Oh, you know who should they do? They should put Cena over.
Oh shit!
I heard they're putting Cena over Rusev at WrestleMania because Cena wins.
Yeah, if they put Cena over, that'd be pretty sick. He deserves it.
He's an up-and-comer, dude.
He is, he's a young lion.
He's the Nemo of wrestling.
No, he's definitely not Lex Luger, man. He deserves his pushes.
He's the Momochi of wrestling.
Cena is a young boy. He's just cutting his teeth in this business.
Speaking of young Ryans, we got Cody Hall over there in New Japan.
He looks goofy.
He's so tall. He's 6'8".
He's wearing his dad's outfit, and it just looks out of place. He's still got the Scott Hall Wolfpack costume on, and I'm just like, why, dude? This isn't 1998. Update your gimmick. Stop stealing your dad's.
I'm just a guy in shirt and jeans that wrestles.
Right?
Who's this guy?
Scott Hall's son.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Is over in New Japan. I guess as of this weekend. I hadn't heard anything about it, but he's the Bullet Club's young boy. He's basically
seriously
their
starting
valet.
to talk about wrestling every week. Oh my god!
What?
Well, it's actually a pretty slow week.
We've evolved. It's just weird.
Well, it's either we talk about that or we talk about exactly.
I mean,
Let's stick to the
real
wrestling
question
conversation really quick. I just got to point this out. I'm looking at Scott Hall's kid. No way I could tell this is Scott Hall's kid.
Yeah, right.
He's just dressed like him. It just looks like some random kid dressed like Razor Ramon.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But and I mean, honestly, out of all the people I've played fighting games with, at least 80% of them also watch wrestling.
I want to say at least 95% at least watched wrestling at one point.
Oh yeah, definitely. If we want to go with people who have watched wrestling, I think it's almost bordering on 100%.
Yeah.
A lot of people stopped after the Attitude Era and Stone Cold and all that, but
Yeah.
there's still a lot.
This is something also completely unrelated. But I just noticed the date on the scrolling bar, and it just definitely looks like ISIS. We're not terrorists, are we?
Wow. I have to be completely honest. I haven't even noticed. So
Hell
I'm gonna
Hydra.
wait for the bar to scroll through. And
Wow.
Let's see. Manchester.
Wow.
Lord
That's all I
Walkman,
want to say.
yeah.
is, Wow.
wow.
Me.
Okay.
There's Paul.
Oh,
Where's Kelly?
that is there. Yeah.
Is Kelly not on there?
Interesting. Well. That's
So,
okay.
as the official ISIS podcast, we will bring.
Shut
Shut
Shut up.
Hold on. I just want to point this out. ISIS was actually an app that was on the Galaxy S phones, used to store your credit card information.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that way you could just, use it, pass it over like one of those credit card scanners, and boom. That's the ISIS we're associated with, right? Right?
Yes.
Right?
Sure.
I don't know what other ISIS there is.
So I think the important thing to note is that the brackets for KIT came out
Oh yes.
over the weekend, and they ended up getting, I want to say it's 97 signups for Xrd.
Now is this finalized? Because they're not taking on-site registration.
They're
right?
not taking on site. I think the brackets were finalized as of yesterday morning,
Oh,
I
nice.
believe. So
It's a pretty good turnout for a Guilty Gear tournament.
I think some people were expecting it to be a little bit bigger. Honestly, though, KIT has always been. It's a regional. It's always been a regional, and only I'd say in the last year or two have the guys and gals in Tennessee been working a little bit harder to get bigger name players out there to kind of create some buzz. I know the prize pot for Xrd is, I think it's at least $1,000 right now. So
money.
it's good. It's good money.
Just for
Big
playing
names
Exard.
from all over the region are going to be there. I know Northeast is showing up. Obviously, Southeast is showing up. Midwest is showing out because Elven Shadow and Black Snake are going. Jay Wong's showing up from West Coast. I didn't see anybody from Northwest, but I wasn't staring at the brackets too long.
I could have sworn I heard that there were some more people from West Coast coming out there.
It's possible that it was pretty early in the morning when I looked at the brackets. It was 8:30 in the morning, I think. So, no, it was about 9. But so I thought it was really cool. It looks like they're going to get good numbers. I'm hoping that it goes well. I'm hoping it's a really exciting tournament. So
It should be good. It'll be one of our early Exard tournaments, so that'll get the attention alone. What other games are they running?
USF, Marvel, Smash. I would have expected them to run Tekken, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that's a huge market for that.
Yep.
But I did, like I said, I only because somebody retweeted the brackets onto my timeline over the weekend, so I didn't look up the website.
All right. No, nonetheless, that sounds like it'll be cool. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Hopefully, get a lot of cool stuff that occur coming from that, because that's pretty much the first of, I think, a couple of events that are happening this month, right?
Yeah, it's basically going to be the first big tournament this month. And then, man, I forget, is Apex happening this month too?
Yep, Apex happens
Is
a
it
week
the
before
following
Frosting.
week? Yeah. So Apex happens, and that's big up in the Northeast. It's normally a Smash major, but they always run a lot of the Air Dash stuff and get pretty good numbers too.
Yeah, they've got, I think it's, 600 for Smash right now? Melee? Or something like that?
Jeez, okay.
I could be wrong. That's what I was reading on Twitter. They have like 600 people. I think that just might be for Smash total. Like all Smash games put together. Which is still a lot.
No, it's a ton. And then, of course, at the end of the month is Frosty Faustings in Chicago, which I'm glad to say I'm actually going to be going to, because flights over the last week suddenly dipped into affordable.
You know why, right? Them barrels of gas going down.
I thought it was because of the Bullet Club, but okay.
Well, the Bullet Club is real.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I still say we need to create Bullet Club Israel. The Israel Independent Wrestling.
Wow. But so I'm gonna end up going. I know Nerd Josh is going. Monique is actually gonna go too. So it's 3 of us.
And if you'd like to see me there, please send me exactly $300 care of Anthony D. Walkman. What the fuck's the rest of your email, Tony?
At fatdick.vid.
I knew. I was going to say .com. I always get that wrong. So
It's
please
dot
send
bid.
money.
Get it right.
Yeah.
Dot
I'm
bid.
sorry. It's all.
Are you gonna quit your job?
Man.
You gotta quit your job first, or otherwise it's not legit.
Why would I quit my job?
Yeah, right.
Because you can make more money on that whole that domain name. You can make so much money on that
I'm
shit.
pretty sure fatdick.vid is taken.
Let's find out.
Probably
Depends on how you spell it.
by Walkman.
It's
I'm not even
Walkman's
sure
baby.
if .vid is like an
It's
actual-
Tony's baby pictures.
I'm not sure if .vid is like an actual like.
Oh
thing
man,
you
what a
can do.
dick! He was such a fat kid. Oh, fat dick. It makes sense.
Hey, those aren't pictures of me. Pictures of my dad. His name's Richard.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, send me money.
Well,
Send all
no.
of us money. I mean, I just want money so I can help make this better, but like I already can, kind of. But other people need help too. Right?
Mostly Gibby. We need to start a fund for so Gibby can move out of Lancaster, right?
Yeah, I like the sound
Yeah.
of this.
We also need to. Now I was thinking about it, like we should have like a New Year's resolution for the show, like maybe get like a new splash page or I don't know something.
I think I was
something
hinting at that last week.
I know, but like we really need to like put up some goals and then really follow through with them rather than just be like, oh yeah, the show's gonna be on in 30 minutes. Let's kind of get ready for that.
Actually, I agree because we definitely we did that a year ago, right? And we were like, hey, let's stop being potty mouths as much, and we were like, okay, cool. And then I had a little swear
that
jar and I stopped swearing.
I've got a swear jar every time one of
Hey,
us
remember
says
when
a
I was
bad
doing
word, I eat
outlines for
bacon.
what we were gonna cover on the show, and then I got a job, and then nobody else took that over?
Well, yeah,
your fault,
because you
not
came
mine.
on to specifically
Hold on,
do that.
No, I want to stop this right here. You weren't the one responsible for that. Paul would usually do it. Don't sit here and take credit for something you didn't do. Right?
Okay.
Don't need that.
I'm really enjoying Paul coming in here with the chime in, like,
What are we talking
way
about?
to just give the white man all the credit and give I see how this shit goes.
No, I'm just telling it like it is. I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, you did it all. You didn't do it all. Paul would usually do that shit. He's the one who continues to do it almost all the time. Like, seriously, we are unorganized piles of shits. Paul will put in stuff in the
Time
chat.
to go through
That's what we talk
exactly
about.
1 year of Skype logs.
Go
Oh
for it.
man, this might take a little while, gentlemen.
Yep.
So we're gonna talk about.
Technical difficulties, please stand.
Where's my
Just a dog and a bunch of color lines.
Can't we just use the Hypnotoad?
Oh yeah, we can just use
can.
Hypnotoad. Shit, I need to
think
get
he
that
might
gift
be
going.
copyright.
How about the Hypnoturtle?
Okay,
If you can get the
I'm okay with
animation.
Bastard cousin of the Hypnotoad.
I can deal with that.
Troll's dead.
Oh yeah,
So-
no. But here's the thing. All right, so I've been hitting at it all day. I'm not hating on Patreon. I'm not hating on Greg or anything. Good for him. I'm just saying we should have got on it when we had the chance. I mean, we still
you
have
mean
the
there
chance.
was you mean there was an actual story to go with that?
Yeah, there's
this is
actually.
how
I
well
wasn't going
pay
to talk
attention.
about it because it's so dumb. Because everybody got so like worked up
I don't know what's
because
going on.
the guy who does the IGN show, he quit IGN along with 3 other guys, so they could focus more on doing a podcast where they get to talk about what they like doing, like us, more or less. You know,
Sounds
Yeah.
right.
it's like if we quit IPW so we could talk about well, I don't know what is IPW
Wrestling.
wrestling. Yeah,
Don't we need to get paid before we quit?
I mean, I guess technically.
Wait, who are you talking about? Who did this?
Some guys that work for
what's his-
IGN, like
Greg, I
4
can't remember
guys
his last
work
name.
for IGN. They bailed on them and they started a Patreon. And
What
they're
was
like,
the
hey,
what's the
guys.
main guy?
I don't know.
Greg.
Is it Miller?
Greg Louganis.
Yeah, I think it's Greg Miller.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
Greg Lougain is dead.
I don't know.
Yeah, Greg Miller quits IGN
I'll
for
say
New
no.
Venture.
He just put up a Patreon for himself and 3 other nerds.
And yeah, and basically all they're going to be doing is just producing content around what they already did for IGN, except it's not going to be run by anybody else's rule but their own. And I'm assuming some investors, because if you're paying for them to do stuff, then you might as well have a say in what you want them to, cover.
Not
I would
necessarily,
imagine.
because I'm sure that with a lot of things there are incentives to like, oh, if you donate this much is what you get, and blah blah blah. It's not like you're actually a shareholder at this point.
Well,
But once again, it always comes down to the ultimate thing, which people seem to forget, is that if you don't like it, don't pay for it.
right.
You know, more importantly than this nerd shit, I just looked it up. Greg Louganis is alive, which is great. I'm a big fan of his work.
Yeah, he's doing a pod. We're talking about. Goddamn.
Doing a video game
Holy shit.
podcast. But no, so that's
Yeah, I mean,
that is something that somebody like in our position, I think that'd be a dream for us if we were just like, yeah, we quit whatever job we're working and we just ran SDR all week. But
that'd be nice.
That would be nice.
I mean, that would be cool, but I don't see that happening.
Well, we get 100 people a week. If they all chipped in $10 each, then one of us could buy a hamburger.
$10? That wouldn't give us $10. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, man.
I'd give me $10.
I wouldn't either. I'm just saying that's how these things work.
I'd actually give all of you $10. Realistically.
Well, I mean, hand it over. You're making money, working man.
Seriously.
I am. It's weird.
You should see how much this kid eats, man. This kid's a freaking bottomless pit.
But the best part is that I am in such a good place right now. Like, I've actually been happy and making money, and then I look and I'm like, wow, I have no bills and no debt. I'm better than 99% of Americans right
Well, look, Tony, as one of the other
asshole.
99%, could you give me $250 and I'll get you back for $100 by the end of the year?
I don't trust any words you say.
I'm going to tell you right now,
Just leave
Tony,
it right there.
As
I'm just saying, if you could,
think that may be, as hurtful as you think that may be, I'm glad you do that. Now give me the fucking money before I beat the shit out of you in the streets.
all I'm saying is if you already have all your equipment that you produce content with, and you can get people to give you basically $3,000 a month, you're living better than 90% of the people in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean, with Patreon, they obviously only get paid on content output. So
Right.
it still depends on, how much work they're going to put in and their fan base.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't expect that Greg would just sit there and count his money and then, produce some really crappy content. This is probably going to be a very stressful venture for him because now he's not getting paid either way, He's going to actually have to bust his ass.
Yeah. And I mean, that in some ways it's good because it keeps people on a schedule. And in some ways, it's probably pretty hard for people. So I think there's probably, I'll be honest, I haven't looked into Patreon too much. I know that a lot of writers have used it. And I think overall it's a good thing. And that's really all I want to say about it.
Yeah. That's about all I got. I got some cool ass Capcom wine glasses today, but they're way too big.
For wine?
See, yeah, for anything really.
I mean, you can send them my way. I can drink water out of them.
Well, here's the thing: it's shaped like a wine glass, and it keeps on curving. It keeps on curving in towards the top, and then all of a sudden it curves back out. It's weird. So I'm drinking beer out of it right now, and it's I mean, it's not hard. There's a little bit more splashback than I want. I'm gonna have to call Hans and ask why they made these.
Typical Capcom product, completely unbalanced.
Wow.
And then, but yeah, so we got a couple events coming up this week, and it being 2015 January, we're pretty much at the cusp of the beginning of our season, where the much anticipated Evo game lineup is announced, which I'm assuming is going to happen in February. Isn't that when it usually happens? Or is it January?
I thought normally it happened in the middle of this month.
I don't know what it is because
Usually it gets announced the last 2 weeks of December or the first 2 weeks of January.
Okay.
There you go. So be on the lookout for an episode of The Fray.
We might get it this year, guys. Because Derry's working at a coffee shop and nobody's seen Andrea in a year.
Don't lie to me, Chris.
I haven't seen Andrea in 3 years, man. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, we've definitely got the most watched podcast on IPW.
Actually, do we?
I was going to say.
We're definitely beating the show that sucks since they haven't been on in a month.
Default.
That's like saying we get more viewers than Ultra Chin then, just because they're never on.
Well, then, hey, we're consistent.
I mean, consistency counts for something, I suppose.
Yeah. People know that they can come here every Monday and watch us or listen to us talk about stuff that they may or may not care about.
You know what I think our biggest flaw is with our show, though, is the reason why we don't pull any more numbers than we normally do, is not just, obviously too much of a lack of advertisement, but more so I feel our time slot is typically not one that is, obviously easy to access.
Well, we obviously have a lot of people overseas in either Australia or the other side of the world that watch it, not live.
Yes.
So we pull a lot of, we get numbers that way.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point we should do a special, time slot every now and again. Maybe be like, hey, this one's for you guys. Can't catch us live because you like to live in, Europe. we'll be on in 7 hours past than we normally do.
Maybe the real problem is that we're actually bumping up against Raw. Maybe we're just cutting our own audience in half.
Well, the fact that we sit there and talk about it too is just like, oh man, nobody cares because they're watching it.
As Vince McMahon says, any form of entertainment is, a threat to the WWE, so they got to be better than everyone else.
So we're direct competitors to the WWF?
Apparently, now we are.
Sick.
Can we get away with playing the Ascension theme in the background the entire time?
I think that according to stipulations, CM Punk is not allowed to be on our podcast, because it's a work competitor.
No compete clause. Okay.
Yeah.
At least we can't call him CM Punk.
that.
Apparently we can't call him CM Punk. He's being pulled from media as CM Punk. Did you hear about this?
He owns the name though.
Well, apparently WWE went to a small comic book producer and asked them to pull CM Punk's image from all the whatever.
I'm sure they're trying to do some scumbag stuff, but
Yeah.
According to what happened after he settled out of court, he got everything he wanted, and they got nothing. They got their pockets a little lighter.
Got him.
I think the only clause he said that he had to do was that he couldn't tell people how much money they gave him, but everything else he can do whatever he wants.
It's like I could just buy a bunch of stuff. That's all I need to know.
Pretty much.
And it was all thanks to, who was it, 2K putting up that tweet and having CM Punk being in WWE 2K15. That was a huge mistake.
Was it? Was it really?
Yeah, because they're like, hey, what did he say? Can you hear us now or something like that? Or are you listening? Whatever. I don't know. I don't know about wrestling too much. But they put up a tweet with, his likeness in the game, after he had already been, terminated and all that stuff, and he wasn't getting paid the other stuff. And so he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you guys for that.
I think I'll see y'all in court.
Once again, 2K games making other people's lives much better. Because they had the best sports games back in the day.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention about events.
Go for it.
Also this weekend is the 13th Cooperation Cup.
Yes.
If you want to watch, it's going to be on twitch.tv/Game Newton. I think 9 a.m. Japan time. This is the 5-on-5 Third Strike tournament, obviously. The cool thing about this, it's always been really fun to watch, is the 5-on-5 that they have as a side event, which is a same character team with 5 different players, and there's 3 Q teams this year.
Oh wow!
So that's gonna be fun because there's never that many.
When do they get so many Q players?
15 Q players, dude. Hold on.
Everyone is sick of playing the same characters and seeing the same shit over and over, so they're like, hey, let's just play Q.
Okay.
That's actually really true.
So, I've always complained about this, how Ibuki's a really popular character, yet nobody plays her.
Mm-hmm.
She's just popular with people. People just enjoy the character, because there's also only 3 Ibuki teams.
Well, because they wish she was good.
She is good, just nobody plays her.
She's not bad, but she's not, up there with, the freaking Holy Trinity.
She shits on a lot of the cast. She has a fucking 3-frame... No, she has a 2-frame standing normal. Do you realize how stupid that is?
No, in that game, that is extremely stupid.
Crouchers. Alex can fucking sit there and do nothing if she just walks up and does standing jab. I'm like, well, this is a legit block string. The fact that people don't play that character bewilders me. She has a standing medium kick that's always the close version. There's no far. There's no you were out of range. You always have the knee.
And it's always cancelable.
Yeah, and it's always cancelable. If history has taught us anything that's a fucking knee or an elbow in a fighting game is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or unless you're cool, in which case everything's cancelable, and yeah.
Yeah.
She's basically cool, except with better animations.
You can't get countered, right?
Yeah, you can't. You can't get fucking countered. But one of the Alex teams has Genki, Sakurada, and Kazuya on it, which is superb. You have Genki, who is the greatest Alex on earth. Sakurada, who I can only describe as a literal savage. And Kazuya is a nice blend of the two, where he's technical and then he knows when to get buck wild.
We found a man who was raised by wolves on a remote island, and now we taught him how to play Alex.
Yep. Where I'm like, let's see what he's gonna do on this guy's wake up. Dash in headbutt, and it worked. Perplexing.
I'm actually looking forward to that. It's always good to see Cooperation Cup mix it up.
I also enjoy one of the Yang teams because their names just crack me up.
Is Fudo on it?
No, the Yang team that's listed is Yui, Yamcha, Yuri, Yurie, and Kodai.
What the fuck?
It's like the fucking that Simpsons gag with the soccer thing. Where it's like Ariaga, Ariagatu, Arugria. Like, I'm really looking forward to this. And then there's always that one team that's like, we're too strong, so we're only gonna have 2 people on it, even though it's a 5-on-5 team. And the coolest thing is, I can't remember. One of the Chun teams definitely has Ryan listed there, so I'm more than certain that's Let Blood Run, which is an American transplant to Japan, one of our own guys from here, who's actually been doing really well. So hope to see him play.
Sorry. I'm just hoping to see Roshikari in there.
Is he in there? Hold on. I forgot to check. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, buddy.
He's on one of the Yang teams, obviously.
So these teams are just like straight up like we all play the same character.
Yeah, that's for the side event. Obviously, the real 5-on-5 is mix and match anywhere, and with their silly names they have. Like, there's a Team Tekken 5.
Nice.
That's just their name. KO family, that's a strong one.
Oh, KO?
Yeah.
Sick.
So you have KO and Periot, which is probably one of the greatest Remys of all time.
Yes, definitely.
RX.
Our fucking RX, dude.
What a busted ass team.
All I need now is
really
Matsukin.
There's some of a team called Super Mario Brothers. Virgin Killer Kinko Daman.
What?
There's some pretty good names.
I swear, man. Like whenever like Japanese like do team tournaments, it's like they're putting on a clinic for like just team names, you know.
They go hard, dude.
It's like that shit. They've been saving that shit up all year, and they're just like, people are gonna like love this shit, and like we're gonna be famous, FGC famous.
Yeah.
Lucky Bottom Boys, baby.
Oh shit! I didn't notice this team. So one of the 5-on-5 legit tournament teams is Team Judgment Day, which is made up of American and French players. So Gunfight and Ryan are on this thing.
Oh.
That'll be really neat.
Who else from America is going over there?
There was one more. I can't fucking find it. I saw it earlier in the day. This MOV character might be American. I don't know.
Wow, okay.
I'll look this up again later. I saw it earlier. But yeah, this is gonna be really deep, like really neat. I love watching the fucking same character tournaments because you always get some bonker shit going on.
You're gonna have bonker shit happening the whole weekend, man.
Yeah,
It's fucking Japanese Third Strike.
it's a good game. Play it.
If we could. Oh, I guess you could play OE, right? Are we okay with that now?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
fine.
isn't it only good on like 360?
I don't remember.
I'm sure since it's a Capcom game, it's booty on PS3.
Can we just get the OE port to PC, please?
Nope.
Oh, what's the thing that they ported? What's the thing that they did over in Japan where they put it on Nessica or something?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's OE. Is it?
No, it's not OE.
No, it's
not
Third
OE.
Strike, but I haven't heard much about what kind of port it is, if it's good, if it's bad.
It's kind of just there.
That's the way.
That's good enough. That's cool.
And then they ported Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition, and I feel like there's at least one more game, and I forget right now.
None of the alphas. God damn it.
Those games don't exist.
Not even Alpha 2 Gold? That didn't exist? Really?
Nope.
Jessica should team up with Steam for all the other people.
It'll never happen.
Well, let's see. Steam is teaming up with SNK of all people, apparently, because like SNK is actually starting to advertise stuff that they're putting out on Steam. It's ridiculous. I mean, they didn't advertise KOF 11 coming out for Japanese PSN, but it's PlayStation 2 Classics anyway, so probably not really worth the campaign behind it. I will probably be picking it up regardless, but still, they're already talking about 2002 coming to Steam. 2002 UM, that is. So that's good.
Well, it was scheduled to. Yeah, it was scheduled to come out at the same time as FE.
Right, I know.
It was supposed to be a month afterwards.
Well, originally they just had them both at the same time, and then it was like when they got delayed, it was
they just pushed
2002
both
was
of them
supposed
back.
to come a month after.
You know what the biggest disappointment was with FE for me? Was the fact that obviously FE has the original 98 on it, but there's no net play.
That upsets me so much.
Oh,
Like,
really?
you think that,
I didn't even know
yeah,
that.
because you can go and play in classic mode, but they should really patch in net play because some people do want to play the original 98 online.
Yeah, and like,
And this would be the best way to do so.
Yeah, like I said, I was messing around with the port. It seems great so far. The 98 Neo Geo mode port is great. The online to 98 FE, for me, outside of one match I played, has been damn near perfect.
yeah, it's been really fucking good. And
Yeah, I've actually surprisingly only heard positive things about the netcode.
Yeah.
now this is something that you had to you usually have to set these up with people you know and where they live. You can't just randomly look
Yeah.
for somebody because either you're not going to find anybody or you will and it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
But the matches you do set up, like, say, hey, want to play, you don't live that far away from me, it's going to be pretty much butter.
Yeah. All the matches I played with Gibby have been really good.
I played with people in Seattle, Oregon, Arizona, blah blah blah, all the goddamn Western states. The furthest I've played so far, and still had a damn near perfect connection, was Houston.
That's really freaking good.
Yeah.
Like, we can't even do that on with Exard. Shit.
I've had better connections on this than I've had on GGPO for KOF 98, and on top of that, Final Burn Alpha for GGPO is complete and utter trash for 98.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't play it. It's bad. Very bad.
You like being able to do nothing?
Yeah, if you don't like doing shit, play it on that. I have people telling me it's fine for them. Supposedly, it's. I have a bad computer apparently, but it's not.
No, you don't.
So I don't know what it is.
I'm thinking probably since Final Burn Alpha, the version they're using is so old, it probably runs on better, older architecture versus.
I brought
newer
that
stuff.
That could be true.
Yeah, I brought that up. People told me I didn't know what I was talking about.
People are stupid, so don't listen to them.
Thank you.
But they're on the internet.
That makes it worse. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a guy.
You're on
You're on
the internet.
We have a conundrum, folks. What to do?
What to do about this internet thing that we have to get our message out somehow, guys.
Hold on.
Quick
This
backtrack.
revolutionary thing that everybody uses.
So a quick backtrack here. I just looked at one of the ×5 Ryu teams. It's Kuni, Vanao, Namijin,
Vanao!
and Ryu. And Ryu, you have every variety of fucking Ryu here. Like, you have no fear of Vanao. You have the precision of Kuni. You have Namijin, who I think plays Denjin or Shinsho sometimes. I forget.
Wow, cool. So you just have like
Doesn't
every
look-
super art, every style.
Yeah, I forget. One of them
Dude,
plays Shinsho.
it doesn't matter. We all know the Makoto team's gonna win.
Fuck. Wait, is Wakefield
Does it have
there?
Makoto Mike?
Look,
All it
what you
needs
have to
is Haitani.
understand is if it's 5-man teams, right?
Yeah.
One of these Makotos is going to roll all sixes. That's just how it works.
Actually, let's see how many Makoto teams there are.
I mean, look, the
One
odds
Makoto
are
player is
always
gonna
in
get
favor of
Aghanims.
Makoto.
Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Makoto teams.
Makoto's like the house. You don't bet against the house.
Yeah, it's just
Let's see.
you're always playing in lag when you're playing against Makoto.
It's mental lag. You're like, why did that work? Oh God.
No Sean teams this year, but there
4X
is a
multipack.
12.
There's a 12 team. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually,
What is this?
kind of going back to online play, this sort of ties into something that got announced today, which is the each player 1 and player 2, being allowed to play on the player 1 side in Tekken 7, which is something they're testing right now. I assume this is obviously for, the fact they're focusing on head-to-head and online play as part of the game. But damn
So
if
it's gonna
that's not weird.
The camera angle will be different for each person. Like one person will be looking from one side, because you got to imagine with stages with walls and whatnot. You can't just be,
Well, see, that's how I don't know exactly. There aren't a ton of details on how it's going to work. Like, if it's just what it's doing is, you're looking at the stage the same way and it's just flipping the other side, I guess.
No, what I imagine it would be was that the camera is going to be on the opposite side for depending on what player you are. But
Yeah,
then
that's what I
thinking
mean.
about that, Tekken is a heavily left-right game.
Yeah.
So will it actually just be flipped and mirrored? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm sure the technology is available to where you can make both people see things that look normal, but aren't all that they seem.
Well, and what's the bigger question is, will you always be on player one's side? Like, say, there were always been weird mix-ups in Tekken where you would hop people. What happens at that point?
Or what about any throws that are purposely there for side switching?
Yeah. Do you actually switch sides, or does the camera swap?
I think that you don't.
I'm pretty sure you just start off.
Yeah, I think you
on
just start
player one side.
I don't think that there would be.
That's just really awkward, I think.
Yeah, it seems weird, but I mean, you probably don't have to do it.
No, I think they're just testing it as an option right now.
Yeah.
But it's really weird because I think it'll give people. It can be something that gives people really bad habits because they never learn to play on player two side, and then they go to a tournament and whoops.
You mean like Vineeth?
I didn't. Is his player one preference that strong?
Damn.
Yeah,
Was
he
it
can
something like
apparently.
he can only do the Firebrand Fireballs?
Yeah,
on
he can
player
only do
one
the
side?
Firebrand loops on, I think, first player side, or was it second player side?
I think it was first player.
Yeah.
I didn't see him doing it on second player. That's for damn sure.
Wow, honestly, then if I was playing him in a money match, I would just make him switch every couple matches. Like, oh, did you.
Well, they usually make him do a coin toss.
I'd just do it. You have to switch every couple. It's like, oh,
No, remember the old rule is if you lose, you have the opportunity to switch sides.
that was the old. I don't know if people pay attention to that anymore.
It's still in effect. It's still in the evil rules. It's just no one ever pays attention or reads.
Yeah, I would definitely be constantly.
Thank God.
Fuck with him.
Shut up, Anthony.
No one reads.
But the other thing to come out of Tekken is Shaheen.
Mahmoud Shaheen?
We keep pushing Harada to add that the proper surname announcement already.
But yeah, this was essentially the design we saw originally, with some tweaks to it. We haven't really seen gameplay from him, I believe.
Yeah, there's not much else.
He's going to be the third Miguel, and I'm going to be really sad.
That's what I was going to say. He looks just like Miguel.
No, he looks nothing like Miguel. This guy is handsome as
All
shit.
the new characters are
Wow, that's
Miguel.
fucked
Everybody's Miguel now. You
Damn.
better put Miguel in at this point.
I would love to have Miguel in the game. He's a good character. Nice design, nice moveset.
What I'm really confused about is we've getting a bunch of new characters so far, and this game's supposed to have less characters than old Tekken. Like every new character, you have to feel like is just chopping somebody off at the knees right now.
Yep, it's the third strike, man. We don't need Chun-Li until apparently third strike because people really wanted her, I guess.
Did we?
I don't know. I didn't. I
People
don't care about
wanted her.
Chun-Li at all.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're gonna have a fairly just like the principal cast because they've already shown whatever the Mishimas. So
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing about it is that there's a lot of characters that people would consider core Tekken characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Paul, Marshall, Kazuya.
Here's the honest thing is that they've watered down Mishimas so much that there's like 7 of the goddamn characters now.
Yeah.
Kazuya, Jin, Heihachi. Now, of course, you got Lars, who's a Mishima. I'm sure the Cosmos fit in there now, too, so there's at least going to be 1, maybe 2 of them.
You forgot about Mama Shima.
Oh, and yeah, she's there. I forgot.
Oh, Jesus.
Mishimama still definitely exists.
Yeah, Mishimama is in this game. So, I mean, that's 6 characters. Hell.
And then, what about, you think they'll bring back any, a Lee or a Violet? He's not that important. But
He's not that important, honestly. I figure we'll probably only get one of the Changs. It'll probably just be JC again. I think we'll get...
You think it'll be JC, though?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Not Julia, but actually JC?
Yeah, I think they're going to keep JC.
But, I don't know, because how the lore of Tag 2 is, completely different.
That's true.
Tag games. Though I do like JC. I like that they incorporated all those extra wrestling moves and gave her, that throw finisher and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Obviously, it looks like we're only getting 1 King because regular King has some of the new Armor King moves. Obviously, we'll get one of the laws. Paul is a given because he's already in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also focusing on, obviously, some of the newer characters that came out in 5 and 6. Dragunov's in this already.
Yeah.
I think Elisa's in this already, too.
I think so.
No word of Bruce, right?
No word about Bruce. Wait, no. I think maybe Bruce was in one of the low
I could have sworn I saw that, yeah.
Obviously, they're going to have Ganryu.
I think he's up in the air, honestly.
Yeah. Actually, I think he does have a legitimate shot.
No, Bruce isn't in it. Bruce wasn't in it.
He wasn't? Oh, was it?
It's only been... Brian's the only kickboxer so far.
Okay. Okay.
That's cool, too.
So we don't... And Warong is in it, so that probably means Beck is not going to be.
Well, he's never generally is anyways.
We probably won't get Old Man Wong. I would doubt we'll get Kangaroo.
What about Dinosaur?
Don't think we're getting the Dinosaur.
Damn it, he's gone.
We're going to probably get Kuma because Harada loves Kuma.
Yeah.
I feel at this point, without Kuma, they just wouldn't even bother making a game. Like,
man, these Tekken
mascot
character
thing,
designs are so outright weird, man. Like Lucky Chloe, but we have a fighting bear since the first game, and a robot.
If people are gonna complain about Lucky Chloe, I'm gonna ask them to just please direct all your anger to a couple years prior to a Mr. One, Lars Alexanderson.
God.
Like if you want to talk about anime, like this son of a bitch, like fucking.
The Mostame?
Like he looks like a fucking Power Ranger. Like
he does.
So Power Rangers not anime.
Well, I think they've already
Sentai.
shown. I think they've already shown Leo as returning as well.
Yeah.
So I think you start to get it. Okay, so Lucky Chloe kind of has a lot of like Christy Eddy moves. Does that mean we're not getting one of the Capoeira fighters back? Like either of them?
But Lily's back, right?
yeah, Lily's back.
Lily's back.
And little Lucky Chloe kind of reminds me of a little Lily as well, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, you start to have a lot of questions like who's not coming back, and I mean, obviously, neither of the ogres are coming back. They're old characters. They don't need to bring them back.
Yeah.
You probably don't need to bring back Lee, honestly, or Violet.
I would honestly say they would, because you wouldn't bring back both, but I would say Lee's been a mainstay for ever.
Yeah.
I think he had the benefit of writing upon a time where like they were able to use them, but now that they're actually throwing in an influx of new characters, you know, it's kind of like who
That's
are they?
never stopped him before, and he also has a relatively unique style than everyone else.
Well, that brings me to my next point where I'm all like, I know they said they were going to have like a much smaller cast, but like a much smaller cast than what?
Then Tag 2 probably.
Right.
We're not gonna
Tag
have for
2's
6
about 50 something characters.
Yeah, they're like, we're not going to have 50 characters. We're
It could be
only
like
gonna have
49.
40. Yeah, we're only going to have 40, okay? We're going to keep
I
it
mean,
low.
yeah. See, that's the thing is like how big are we talking? How small are we talking? Like
It's
I
20
could-
so far.
Yeah, so I could honestly see them going to 30. I think any more than that is.
I
Why
think
did you
35
decrease
is
the
a
cast?
And let's not forget the fact that Tekken was one of the original, you know, games that had so many unlockable characters that were never mentioned in previous, information.
Yeah.
So they could totally just say, yeah, we got 25 characters and 35 unlockable characters.
Oh, somebody actually put up all the confirmed characters. So far we have Elisa, Asuka, Brian, Claudio, Feng Wei, Heihachi, Warong, Katarina, Kazuya, King 2, Lars, Leo, Lily, Ling, Lucky Chloe, Marshall, Paul, Sergey, Dragunov, Shaheen, and Steve Fox. That's already feels like a big cast.
Yeah.
It's 20.
Yeah. And we haven't gotten into the Williams sisters.
Yeah,
I assume we'll get Nina and not Anna, but both are considered really important to certain people. Like, it's such an issue, like, without just doing what they try to do with Tekken 4 and just, like, rebooting everything. I don't know. It's an issue.
I think they're gonna go with the lore, and I'm assuming they're both important.
The lore's all fucked up at this point.
It probably is.
I think it
We'll
has
see how
made
it goes.
sense too. So, I mean,
People are getting thrown in volcanoes and surviving somehow.
All right, what if we don't get any of the Williams sisters, but we get the Williams dad that was killed in
Oh,
one?
God.
You could totally get him. I mean, like, what am I
Turns out he
saying?
was just in cryo sleep the entire time.
Exactly. He's a jack.
The biggest, like, mess up in the storyline is probably 5, because they brought back a bunch of characters who were supposedly dead already.
Yeah, because they killed Ogre and it magically returned him to life.
He was a Dragon Ball.
No, not in 5. You're thinking of 6. I mean, you're thinking of Tag, Ogre. Because Ogre died in 3. And then Tag 1 revived because that was a dream match. But like Wong came back in 5, he was supposed to be dead. Heihachi was, I think, supposed to be dead, but they die. The Mishimas die every game. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
No. Remember in the intro to 5, the big explosion. Somebody like zoomed in and enhanced.
Oh yeah, they said Heihachi Mishima is dead, and then
and then they
he's in the
zoomed
game anyway.
Like no, they zoomed in and there's a little particle that looks like a body that's flying out of the fucking like Mishima fucking mansion, and it turns out that's actually his flaming corpse. So he's not dead.
Well, no, it can't be his flaming corpse. His corpse would like mean he's dead.
Well, he was unlockable anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's...
Yeah, I think what Raven meant to say in the intro was Heihachi Mishima is bread.
Heihachi
Toast.
Mishima is a time lock.
He's probably ciabatta bread.
Yeah.
Ooh,
He's tough. He's tough on the outside, soft on the inside.
Yeah, see, Raven was actually there to be a corporate spy, and he was remarking on how the Mishima Zaibatsu was venturing into wheat goods.
those bastards.
Hold on. Are they venturing into gluten-free wheat
Of course.
goods?
Gotta make the money where you can.
Yeah.
Did you just say wheat goods?
Wheat?
I'm not even going to go down that road.
Why don't they have things called tweet thins where they have people's tweets posted on little crackers?
Get out.
Oh, god damn it. I feel like there was something else I wanted to bring up.
But I think just kind of rounding this up while Chris tries to figure out what else he wanted to think about is that there's just, when you have a game that already had so many damn characters and they keep coming back, it's like where Street Fighter is for Street Fighter V. Who do you cut? Because if you're trying to get new players, you can't start with a 40 character cast. It's not fucking happening. Like, people are intimidated by a cast that's big. That is that big. Because they just kind of look at it and they go, oh, shit, you mean I gotta learn all these matchups? So, I think it really becomes a question of who can you afford to cut? I mean, obviously there are clone characters, that's easy. But that's only 5 or 6 in Tag 2, maybe? So, with Street Fighter, the problem becomes similar because you have a lot of people who are big nerds like us, and we're like, hey, bring in some of the Street Fighter 1 characters we haven't seen.
Oh, man.
Just bring in Eagle. I don't give a fuck about any of the other ones.
Well, see, we're already getting Charlie. Come on.
No, but not only are we getting Charlie, we're getting like Shadow Charlie.
Yeah.
The best
We're
version of
getting-
Charlie.
We're getting Illuminati Shadow Charlie.
Who,
Damn.
before this, was only a Versus character.
Yeah, and he wasn't that great.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because
I'm
Versus
pretty
game.
sure this is just, Charlie's dead body brought back to life.
You know what this means, though? It basically says that it's basically implying that the Versus series was canon.
What happened is
No.
they put
You know what this is?
they
Look,
put
check it out. Go on, Anthony. I'll get on with my stupid shit.
what they did was they put Justice's soul in Charlie's body on accident, right? Ties into Exer.
Jesus. Okay, so
Wait,
I
so
thought
Devin
what I
Charlie
was
is
going to say.
here
was-
now?
Damn. Yes. Yeah. So basically, this is my theory. I got bored, read up stuff. Bison's dead. Bison makes bodies for himself with all these different characters. So Bison made a body of Charlie, and this is the new Bison.
No, what happened was
gonna
Charlie
have
crashed
Psycho
his
Boom.
plane into the
Psycho
Psycho
Boom.
engine or whatever.
Psycho Boom.
Psycho Blade.
He crashed into his plane and then he just ended up like after his plane exploded, he like landed inside one of the vats and then just made clones of Charlie. Like, well, let's just
What
roll.
you're telling me is that, much like Ultimate Warrior, he grabbed the plane controls and crashed into parts unknown.
No, it was
Yeah.
Thailand.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
where he's been for the
I mean-
last 15 years.
Well, maybe Ultimate Warrior didn't know much about Thailand, you know?
No, I think
That's true.
I think Ultimate Warrior just defies canon.
I don't think Ultimate Warrior knew anything about geography. That's why he was told.
No, this Ultimate Warrior, he can go anywhere. No matter what the story to something is, he can screw it up by being there. Like, they can kill him, he comes back to life because he is the ultimate warrior.
I swear to God, though, I think that guy just was terrible with geography because that's why he was always talking about parts unknown. He's like, fuck, I don't know where the hell I'm at.
Yeah,
I can't read a map.
because he can't read. That's why Anthony loves him so much.
You ever realize that Parts Unknown has to be like something out of Mad Max? Like, all the motherfuckers who came from Parts Unknown always got like faces painted and like crazy costumes on. Like
That's
apparently
true.
Parts Unknown like is post-apocalyptic America.
I mean, yeah, I would totally buy that, actually, considering mostly everybody that, like you said, is like, he's like some psycho motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, even The Undertaker came from Death Valley. See, we know what he was doing.
Right.
But Parts Unknown is just like, I mean, it's a complete anomaly.
It's a smoking crater in the ground.
Right?
With a lot of radiation,
so often
apparently.
a wrestler walks out of it.
Yeah. You're either an Ultimate Warrior or you're a Bobo.
It's just some like, it's like some big pile of mutating goo. That's Parts Unknown. Occasionally people just get thrown into it.
Yeah, come out superheroes.
Damn, I don't know, man. Parts Unknown's a scary place.
Seriously. Make you look like that. Jesus. Oh yeah, so now I remember, because you jogged my memory by talking about Street Fighter. I was like, you know, me and my friend Gordon were talking about this recently with like the recent announcement of Street Fighter 5 and the obvious, you know, conclusion that this is all going to be ending up on Xbox One and PS4. He was wondering what's happening with Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Like, we already knew that they were working on something. They showed something. Are they going to be continuing down that street, or like, you know, are they going to be going with maybe Street Fighter 5 models now? Because now that the Street Fighter 5 models are out, and they're really probably the most up to date, you know, looking things that are offered. You know, Namco might just go to Capcom and say, "Hey, can we use these real quick?" And
I doubt that. I think that they're going to make their own models. They probably maybe update them to whatever the 5 designs are, if there's any major or minor changes. But I feel like at this point, Tekken Cross Street Fighter is probably on the back burner, or maybe like the contract time is just like it ran out, whatever.
I would love to have a look at that. I'm
pretty sure that Tekken Cross Street Fighter will be packaged along with Half-Life 3. It'll be published by, both of them will be published by Valve.
Well, the problem with this is that a lot of people are just like, they want to see more versus games coming out of Capcom, and we know that we're not going to get into the Marvel because, you know, Disney is just like, why would we even bother? So the next logical step would be to revive the Capcom versus SNK scene, and everybody wants CVS 3. Everybody wants CVS 3 done in KOF 13 style, because nobody likes Capcom's new art direction, which I think we can officially say is here to stay. So, I mean, I would like to see it as a fan. I would love to see that. Unfortunately, we are, working with 2 different companies who have... One of them's got pretty good relationships with the fans, I think. I think Capcom does a pretty good job, at least these days. Not necessarily giving the fans what they want, but making sure they want what they're offering. SNK, on the other hand, not really too sure what they're really focused on. Last I heard, they're pretty much knee-deep in that Square Enix lawsuit, so...
My opinion with all things SNK is don't expect anything.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's all I can say. It's like,
Only be pleasantly surprised.
Exactly. The minute... it's just like 2K2 on Steam. Like, we expected it to be out already, and of course... Nobody's even talked about when it's coming out.
Right.
The fact that we got FE finally, I think, was a shock to everybody.
And the fact that it's good.
Well, that's the bigger shock.
Yeah, that's just like the what? And it's kind of like, where was this like a year or 2 ago? And I get they were probably...
when they had some momentum?
Yeah, when they had some fucking momentum and people were just like throwing money at them and they were like, hey, we can milk this 13 thing for all it's worth because people are eating this shit up. We're giving them free t-shirts, you know? Like, it was madness, and they were like, I guess they felt like they didn't need to do anything. And I don't know what changed their mind now, because SNK has never really felt like they had to improve things for better sales. I think they always knew that people were going to buy their shit regardless. And so the fact that FE's netcode is just so good, and hopefully they don't touch it. There's no reason to touch it.
Somebody in chat brings up a good point. Sega and SNK should just make a game together. It'd be fucking amazing. Just put...
It'll never come out.
Hold on. I want to stop everyone right now. They did that. It came out terrible. Shut up. Stop. No. Done.
What, Sega and SNK?
2, I'm just saying.
Yes.
I gotta look that up. Hold on. I'm missing that.
So
Knuckles missing leg day. You can always hit him low. It does more damage.
Here, I'll just bring this up. The two huge flops in terms of, like, you know, sales and popularity and Dreamcast and Neo Geo Pocket, the two systems went hand in hand with each other. Okay, they worked with each other.
Yeah,
true, they did.
And what happened to the two systems? They flopped hard as shit. Because Sega and SNK worked together.
That's true.
And this is old SNK, by the way.
Yeah.
But I love and own both of the.
I used to own an NGP, but I burned it with a cigarette. That had nothing to do with the quality of the stuff that you saw on that, though. That was just because, like you said, it was old SNK, and it was old. Well, Sega hasn't really changed at all. So Sega and old SNK
was kind of sort of knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but the thing is like the bigger production, the bigger advertising powerhouse there, at least in America, was Sega. So, unfortunately, at the time, Sega wasn't really doing anything right. So,
I think they were flushing money down the toilet, right? I mean,
they
that's
sure
the only reason
as
I can
hell
figure
were.
out the Dreamcast didn't succeed.
Man, those commercials were phenomenal, though.
They made modems for the Dreamcast that they shipped to you for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that normally is not really a good choice.
No, that's
well, back then it was like it came stock with the system.
No, it didn't.
With Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Mine did.
The certain models didn't come with it. You had to order it.
Oh no, mine did. I want day one and have it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine
day
was
one
built
had
in.
the adapter.
Oh, later ones didn't have it.
Yeah, I think it's because they didn't think anybody wanted to pay to play their shitty online system.
But Phantasy Star Online wasn't Phantasy Star Online the only game you could play online?
No, you could play
Arena.
Oh,
There was also another one.
Outrigger?
Like an alien game.
Oh yeah, Alien Front, or like you could even do the voice
Alien
chat
Front Online.
for like
Yeah, I
for
forgot
fucking
about
like
that
5
game.
seconds. You press a button, you have to say stuff in 5 seconds.
Yeah. I really love the Dreamcast.
Well, also, I think you could play Unreal Tournament online, but I can't remember.
I think Unreal Tournament, like, you could, but there was one of them. Maybe it was Half-Life. I was thinking, like, wasn't there like one of the shooting games that like didn't officially come out? It was just like it was pretty much a complete beta that just didn't get published. or
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
something. Yeah.
I can't remember. I forget. Was the Dreamcast LAN adapter, was that actually able to use broadband, or was that only dial-up?
I feel like it
only
was.
dial-up, but they
I
had
think
a broadband adapter.
Yeah, I think they had a broadband later on
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
because I was there when you were playing off dial-up, and you had to have for PSO. No, it was actually for all the Sega games. You had to have the AT&T provider. Otherwise, you had to tie it to I don't think it was a proxy. I think you just had to tie it to a secondary ISP, and it only accepted certain ISP types. So, yeah, it was a pain in the ass for a lot of people to play PSO.
1999 was a crazy time.
Man, we were hungry back then. Like, the shit that we went through just to play PSO online. Like,
Man, just think about this, too, is that 1999, Dreamcast actually coming with an adapter was, 4 years after X-Band?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Sega Saturn also had an online adapter that you could buy separately later.
Yeah, you never use it.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
They only had like 2 games or something like that.
What games were those?
I forget, but they did have one. Saturn was really revolutionary, and much like that,
Really
in the
overpriced.
Dreamcast, yeah, and also the kind of like with the same fatal flaw of like the PS3 during development, because it had several different processors. It was really hard to develop for, and then you had the additional RAM pack and all that other stuff. It got really convoluted with how it was, but still, it was
If you think about it, though, it was teaching people shit, though, because, like, you want to play these games that were awesome, especially if you were an importer and you wanted to play a bunch of Japanese games that you could never play in America. So you had to, learn a couple of things. You had to get some connections, maybe learn another language real quick, just so you could order the goddamn thing, Like, that's part of the reason why I learned Japanese, because I was like, screw it, man, I'm totally not getting ripped off by these fake-ass converter boxes anymore.
Chris learning a language from the back of those old like Game Fan magazines where you're like, man, I really want to order these wall scrolls, but I don't know if I'm getting ripped on it again.
the Sega Saturn Netlink. Apparently, games that were compatible with it were Daytona USA Netlink Edition, Duke Nukem 3D, Saturn Bomberman, Sega Rally, and Virtual On.
Those were at the end of the lifespan, though, right?
Yeah, it was pretty late when this thing came out. I'm more uncertain.
Yeah. Virtual One was on fucking Saturn?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it had the dual joystick controller, and then they had an adapter for the Dreamcast that you could use it for if you wanted to play Arteria Tangram.
Oh, that's right.
If you have one of those VO controllers, they're worth a good amount of money now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize.
Like
now that
used ones, I think used ones go for more than like $200 some places.
Used what?
The virtual on
one.
controllers.
Oh yeah, those are expensive as shit.
Those ones are so cool, though.
That's because
Yeah.
they're hella nice.
I used to play Virtual On all the time back in the arcades when I could. Every time I'd end up going to like Reno or whatever, I'd be like, dude, Virtual On. Be playing against my brother. I'd be using Timgen Alpha. You know, and he'd be
Mondo?
riding.
Yeah, I was like,
I'd be like, no, yeah, but like, you know, he'd be using the ride, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this crazy surfboard move on, and he just pushes both triggers, and I get beamed for 80%. I'm like, man, fuck this game. Not gonna use that attack again. I'm just gonna run away and throw bombs.
That's pretty much the point. You know what wasn't cool for Saturn? That fucking like that Knights analog controller, like.
Oh yeah.
You mean the Knights into Dream Control?
Yeah, the Knights of the Dream controller. That they, I guess they. Huh? What's up?
I said I actually liked that controller at the time. I mean, it's huge. Don't get me wrong. The damn thing is almost as big as an original Xbox controller.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For some reason, at the time, it felt like I was like, this isn't too bad. You know, it's big, but I actually can use it.
No,
Yeah.
for what it was used for.
I don't understand all the hate people put on the Dreamcast controller. Honestly, these
It
days.
looked just fucking like it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Except
it
that
is.
it uses that weird 360 pad where instead of like a joystick, it's like a weird big circular thing. I have two of them like already. Like
No, I got my Dreamcast pads. Now I said that about the Saturn version, but I love the Dreamcast controller. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me.
Complaining about it. I'm like,
We
what?
used to call the Dreamcast controller the USS Defiant.
Yeah.
You flew that motherfucker.
Seriously, dude. Like, you put a
It's
fucking
funny
VMU
that-
in that thing, and you're just like, this thing is now like, you know, a concussion waiting to happen.
The Dreamcast controller. It was so funny because you know I had bought one and then we use it all the time. It was the one that was like the clear blue on top.
Oh yeah, I had that.
We had played so many fighting games on it. You could see it all just smoothed out for the quarter circle forward. Like it was just like all the texture was gone. It was like completely like shiny in that area because we had played so many games, me and my brother.
Dude.
Man.
You know, I actually got one of the Dreamcast controllers with the semi-clear front, and I swear the D-pad was shittier on that than the stock ones out of the box. I was really mad. I was like, God.
The D-pad was already complete trash.
Yeah, it was.
Like holy
But
shit.
no controller, in my opinion, will ever be worse than the original Xbox controller. That thing is the biggest pile of shit ever.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of controllers, fucking third-party controllers, especially back in the day.
Oh, God.
So my first getting mad at video games moment was I was 8 or 9. I was playing Parappa the Rapper and I couldn't beat the 4th stage, so I threw a third-party controller at the TV. And of course, you know, this is an old CRT TV, so it just goes blink and the controller just like explodes. I'm like, oh my. I was so mad.
Ah, yes. Vintage Mad Catz products.
Oh
shit, right?
shit.
Was it Mad Cats or was it like ASCII or Newbie
Oh, no,
Tag?
no, actually,
Logitech.
I had good fucking experience with ASCII. It was Mad Catz and Pelican that used to be the
Yeah,
fucking.
I think it was
Mad
a
Catz
Pelican.
was the
honestly.
fucking-
I don't
Pelican
even.
was really bad.
But there was
Newbie
another
really
one.
bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pelican and Mad Cats were by far the worst back then.
I don't know what it was, but like the Mad Catz controllers, just like they added extra body to their controllers. They made it really like unwieldy and shit.
All
Yeah.
that shit looked like play school toys, dude.
Yeah, that's
like
what I was gonna
straight
say.
up, it was big and colorful and fucking worthless.
Yeah, and it was
Like, those
unresponsive.
things-
That was the other bad part. Like this shit was hella laggy.
At most, they would last you a week before they broke down.
Yeah.
Just all of that. I for the longest time, I always had a rule, which was never buy anything not created by the company who made the system, because that's how bad third-party electronics were back then.
Yep.
It was just awful, just atrocious.
So the ASCII Super Nintendo pad.
Is the only good one.
Yeah, that thing was sick because it had the fucking turbo on it, but it also had the Famicom colors on the buttons.
Yep, and it actually felt like it was made by Nintendo.
Yeah, it was
they
just
used
slightly
the same
heavier because
plastic
of
and
the-
everything.
It was just slightly heavier because of the turbo features in the middle.
Yeah,
Because there was more
the only
plastic.
good one I ever used.
Didn't it also have the 6 face buttons?
No, it only had the
No,
full
it
face.
had-
It had the shoulders.
That was no. You're thinking of a different one. There was one that was a 6-face that had a different D-pad, but this one was just the stock Super Nintendo controller with added turbo functions like switches in the center.
That wasn't the same one with the really short cord, was it?
The majority of ASCII pads had short cords.
It's not too terrible. It's definitely shorter, but it's not too terrible.
Yeah, I have some controllers that has the... No, okay, it isn't the same one I had, I'm more certain, but it's where the cord was just maybe like 3 feet long. Like, you had to sit really close. But it had the turbo on it.
The only other third-party controller I remember having back then that I enjoyed was the really bizarre thing that Capcom made specifically for Street Fighter, where it was basically like a grip and then almost like an elevated pad that had all 6 face buttons on it so you could play Street Fighter.
Is it the Triax one?
I have no idea what it was even called.
I think I'm looking. I'm looking at this thing right now called the Turbo Touch 360. I was looking it up.
Oh, Jesus.
Like back in the day, they had like all these different versions of it in different fucking colors.
Yeah, so the Turbo Touch 360, I'm sure Paul remembers. This shit was advertised as the control. This will not give you blisters. It will give you the full, perfect 360 motion, no issues, no anything. Like it came
Those things looked like
Genesis.
the biggest piece of shit ever.
I owned one for a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. I got them all for free, and I was happy I didn't pay for them. The buttons were good. The Turbo Touch portion of it was complete and utter shit. It was definitely not 360.
So what exactly like
this is what I'm talking about. I just posted it.
So is it like an actual pad, or is it like a sensor or some shit? Because it looks like there's nothing even there.
It's a pad.
And it like dents in or something, or
yeah.
Okay.
You feel it when you.
Wow, that feels really awkward.
This thing.
Yeah, this thing where it's like.
You own this?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at this.
This thing, you liked it?
Yeah.
Wow. This
the fuck is this abomination?
This is a pile of shit to me.
It is, but I mean, like, for me, because that thing, the Turbo Touch is abomination.
Yeah.
I liked it just because when I played Street Fighter as a kid, obviously, I hated having to use shoulder buttons, so this thing was, like, super nice, because I didn't own a SNES Advantage, and that button layout would have been fucking whack anyway, but... So I didn't play on stick back then.
Yeah, the majority of people didn't. The local import store that I live next to, it's still around. It's called Game Dude. It's in North Hollywood, California. This shit, I've been going to it for years. I hate the place, but I loved it at the same time. They had a Hori Super Nintendo pad, which I think it was just the Hori Commander. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called, because that's what Hori calls all their goddamn pads.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This shit was the best goddamn pad I ever used for Super Nintendo. It was basically a Super Nintendo pad with just like the ASCII pad with turbo in the middle, but it was shaped almost identical to a Super Nintendo pad. It felt the same, buttons felt the same. It was perfect. Like, you did not know this was a third-party control, and it had turbo. Shit was sick. You didn't have to mash buttons. Because I was a lazy pile of shit at the time, and the way I mashed buttons screwed up my elbow. So I'm like, nope, not doing it anymore. I could break the diamonds in Mortal Kombat, no problem. See, it was great. I don't think a lot of people know what Tester Mind is.
I think a bunch of people maybe that Capcom pad is where a lot of people learn to play claw hand in Tekken.
No, it's just a style some people developed. Like I've always played on pad like that. Just because it feels awkward. Till this day, it feels awkward using my thumb to play a fighting game.
Huh, weird.
Or
I only used my thumb for the longest time.
Shit. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, I would just like lay it across, like, if I had to do like 2 buttons at one time, it'd just be like laying my thumb across it.
Yeah.
What if you had to hit 3 buttons at once?
Just fuck, dude, I have some big ass thumbs.
That's when you set up a button for it.
The funniest thing about this Capcom pad is that, so, regular SNES pads kind of had a little weight to them. This thing seriously felt like it was air. It felt like there was nothing in it. And it was just like a big hollow chunk of plastic. Like, it just kind of felt like you could swing it around on the end of the cord like it was a bolo, or just like whip people in the head with it.
It would shatter on impact.
Probably would have. I'm glad I never did that. Come to think of it.
Yeah, man, that's...
Like my third-party controller. Boom! I was mad. I didn't care.
if I had done some shit like break one of my controllers when I was a kid, I would have got the biggest ass whooping. You would not have even believed it.
Oh, dude, I used to get tore
I got
up.
hit, but it was worth it.
I would get tore up for that shit because like it wasn't because like my dad was trying to teach me like the value of product is important and everything. He would just be like, I play on that shit too, motherfucker. Like, fucking busting up my game.
I definitely don't remember this Hori controller.
Oh, wow.
It's Japanese only. I don't know. I got it.
This is definitely Japanese only.
They had it was import. Like I knew of Hori for a while at the time, but I never saw their products at like Toys R Us or whatever.
Damn.
But I really like that pad.
That is pretty nice.
I need to see if I still have it laying around somewhere.
And then Hori made that one Super Nintendo controller for the GameCube. That was so cool.
Yeah.
This is the one like third-party controller I actually really did like, which was the ASCII pad for SNES.
Hell yeah.
I just posted it in chat.
I still have
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is a really good controller.
See, I liked it, but I didn't like the shape. It was just a bulky Super Nintendo pad.
Yeah, like that extra part kind of.
My favorite setting was the slow motion controller.
Oh, you mean the
pause repeatedly?
Pause smash here. That shit always made me laugh. Especially because like I play a lot of Mega Man X, so it just open the menu. And, like,
it would just make you lag the fuck out.
I remember they used to like your parents ever tell you not to like hit pause repeatedly because you'd break it. I'm like, I wonder where the hell did that come from? Like that was like some weird myth.
I definitely remember them back. They'd be like, "Don't play your video games on the TV; it'll blow it up." I'm like, what?
No, I don't know if you remember. Back in the day, they would say video game consoles destroyed your TV. Like this shit was on the news. It was in newspapers and everything. They would say that Super Nintendo, Nintendo, Genesis, whatever, will destroy your TV. Don't let your kids play more than 2 hours a day. It will blow up your television set.
I don't know if it'll blow it up, but I can see it definitely burning an image.
You think about burning? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Otherwise,
No, not burn it. It will explode the television.
Oh shit! It gets haunted.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I've been told so many times, don't play anything on this. You'll ruin the TV. It'll break it. I'm like, it's not gonna break. Like,
I can't tell you how many TVs we went through at my parents' house because of burn-in. Like just playing the games for hours. And
did you have projection TVs?
Huh? No, they were just old TVs. My dad would seriously. He didn't want to like have us use the main TVs in the house, so he would just buy old TVs or like find old TVs.
That's pretty dope.
But if you would have just spent like a little bit of money on like maybe one decently new TV, like
kind of did by about the mid '90s. But growing up, like I only played video games on like fucking dial TVs.
Dang,
those are fine though.
Like you turn it on by pulling the button out.
You mean
oh
where you
yeah,
had to
dude.
plug it into a coaxial
That was my first fucking TV, man.
But the coaxial connector also had to be screwed into two terminals with the little white clip.
Yeah, man. Like you could electrocute yourself on that shit.
That was the classic.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking electrician.
I almost did not have a TV that actually had coax until I moved to California.
Wow.
All my CRTs that I ever had were RF only.
Wow.
That's not shit.
That was wow, man.
That's hard living.
It's just stuff that kids these days don't even have to worry about.
I know, man. You got all these. You got HDMI now, man. My mind was, dude.
I have that shit.
My mind was fucking blown by like, my freaking RGB. I was blown by composite. I was like, I don't need to screw anything in anymore. RF is dead. Composite cables is where it's at. You've been telling me this since I was a 4-year-old, and my Nintendo Entertainment System had a freaking composite port on it.
Oh wow!
And I was like, dude, that's like the future. That's all I'm using. And then like it got better with component cables, and I'm all like, this is so much better. Then HDMI comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Just one cable.
The thing that made me happy was I played on shit until a bit after the Northridge quake, and then I got this Magnavox TV, which lasted me until like 2004 or some shit. Thing was great, perfect. Just amazing television set.
Good old
the greatest
Magnavox.
Goddamn thing. That the Northridge quake was the best thing that happened to me for gaming.
even it gets better, by the way. Until I finally bought my first HD TV, I played the Xbox 360 and PS3 on fucking old ass rinky-dink CRTs that I had to actually buy an RF to fucking RGB converter for.
Oh god.
Not even fucking around.
You know what the worst was though? Was like you were going somewhere, right? And you're like, man, like I don't have a Game Boy, but I'm gonna go on a trip to like I don't know some random like cabin that we're renting on a timeshare, like a hotel, and be like, all right, I'm gonna bring my video games, and then you try to hook it up, and like it hooks up, it's fine, but there's no remote, and you can't program the proper channel you needed. Like you couldn't go to input, or you couldn't go to channel 3.
Twilight Zone shit right there.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
and you had channel 2 and 3 and 4 were gone, but you had 5, 6, and then it just flipped through all of them and be like, why can't I just get to 3, goddammit?
That's
like,
when you're over at like the family friend's house and they're like some old people and you're just like, hey, how do I get this channel on 3? And they're just like, oh, we don't watch that thing anymore. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you people?
We've already gone off the beaten path so far. That makes me think of a story. It used to be, Final Round used to be at the Holiday Inn in Doraville, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And there was always a guy, and I can't remember his name right now, who would always walk around the hotel room with pliers and a universal remote to break the cable pieces off the back of the TV.
Sick.
So that everyone could hook up their consoles and play casuals all weekend.
Nice. That guy's a hero.
That guy was a hero. Everybody would look for him too.
Dude.
First day, they're like, motherfucker, we need to get this thing off the back of the TV. Where is he? He would walk down the hall knocking, by the way. Like, he'd just be, I'm not even
like he's a hotel employee.
He might as well have been.
Dude, you know what I'm
Everybody
thinking
knew
of?
who
Now,
that man
you
was.
remember those
He
old
was a
Bud?
hero.
You know what that shit
Turn
is?
down service, yeah.
That shit deserves like one of those old Bud Light, ode to like man inventor
This
fucking
Bud's
songs,
for
man.
you.
Yeah, it was like real men of genius.
Real
That
men of
guy.
fucking genius, man.
Breaking it off the cable TV.
Complete disregard for hotel staff.
He just
Who
didn't
gives a
give
shit?
It was awesome.
He's the hero we deserve.
He
It
really
only
was.
shoots
Like,
t-shirts.
and so it actually got to the point where I realized I was just like, man, I just need to invest in a universal remote to take to tournaments. And for a couple of years, I literally had one packed in my suitcase permanently, just in case. I was like, you never know, might need it. You need to get to channel 3. You need to get to the input, and none of these hotel remotes will allow you to do it. Fuck them. Circumvent the whole process.
Seriously, man.
Speaking of which, but on a somewhat related note.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I just remembered his name. He went by Father Brain, I think.
Father Brain.
So I don't remember where he was from, but
yeah, that reminds me that this Christmas, and something that I really wanted and needed, but I wasn't thinking about getting it as a gift. My father bought me a whole tool set, so that might be me someday.
I don't think we have to even worry about that anymore, though. Like, even in...
You're right. Now it's more like we can hook up our TVs, but it's got 10 frames of lag.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you've got, like, the freaking signal enhancer, then, yeah, you can come in.
this Walmart TV in my hotel room only has 15 frames of lag, and I guess we can at least watch TV on it.
And you get the bad channels. You're just like, this sucks.
It's only Vegas news, fuck!
Yeah, who cares? I'm just gonna leave it on the what's it called? The what is that game? The Kino channel. Like that's the most important thing to watch, right?
Kino
Just flip it on
channel?
and be like, did I win?
Oh, no! Yes, the Kino channel. Damn, that was a long... How the hell did we make it to 8?
I still think that it's just like looking at how everything has progressed. How everybody they have their old man back in my day. It's like, man, if you think about it, things have gotten so convenient and people are still mad. Like think about all the struggles we had to do to try to play a damn video game.
But you know what's funny is like I don't look back like okay, having only RF switches for all those years, I don't look back at that as bad. Like, and I didn't even hate it at the time. It was just like something you accepted.
Yeah, but look at it nowadays. Be like, I brought the PS3. Someone hook it up. Like, man, what happened to it?
That's the real struggle is actually being the guy who has to hook up the console now. You're
Wow,
like,
I just like how Tony's calling me out for New Year's Eve. Where I'm like, I bought the PS3. Fucking hook it up.
One HDMI cable, one power cable. This is too
I was
hard.
trying to get a beer, damn it.
Chris too lazy to turn on the wireless controller.
Somebody turn it on for me. I'm going to get a drink and take a piss. That's 2 things I could be doing instead of 1.
damn. I mean, you make a valid point.
Think about it. You could go to that one website or whatever where it just has a Java-based NES emulator. You can just play a video game with your keyboard, like right there.
Yeah.
You have to try these days.
Dude, you can do that. Like, they have online mode for that shit.
Yeah.
You can play Crash and the Boys online with that shit.
It's so like, it's like, they have the whatever. Everyone just shows up and like, hey, let's play NES. It's like immediately. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I would prefer everybody to stay mad because if we ever stop being mad, then we've lost some hunger.
No,
And
that's true.
I'd much prefer everybody to stay hungry.
In this day and age, we do need to strive for something better. Like how we're always complaining about online. Obviously, we never had online before. This kind of opened the world. But like with all the technology we have these days, like why aren't you focusing on stuff that really matters rather than, hey, how can I make more money by being an internet service provider?
Exactly.
Rather than, hey, how can we streamline the internet or maybe come up with a new video format that won't cost nearly as much bandwidth or something else to be more efficient for everybody else?
Well, I think companies should embrace the fact that people are upset. You know, like if you're like, you know, producing a game and you want, you know, to provide netcode with it, and your audience is upset, that should be music to your ears, because that's like, great, that's just a lot of money I can get from them later on when I figure this shit out, you know?
Exactly.
Instead of just being... Yeah.
Like, look at GGPO. GGPO was obviously based off that, where it's like, we have Chimera and servers, which has delay, let's try and do something better. And obviously, rollback netcode isn't the end all to anything. We just need to keep developing, but I feel like nobody really is. They're just trying to make it good enough.
Yeah,
well, you know, I mean, Fightcade at least is a step in the right direction, thankfully.
Yeah, and things like, and people that develop Fightcade are people like them. That's really what's going to push the industry, I feel like, because eventually even GGPO got the nod from Namco Bandai. Of course, it ended up on an arcade game for Dragon Ball Z, but still, hey, it went somewhere.
Well, the thing about Fightcade, though, is that they can really only do so much because they still use the old GGPO with the old Final Burn Alpha emulator. They need a new emulator. And, you know, obviously their servers are going to be better, more stable, more maintained, but there's only so much they can do server side that they can really...
I would honestly hope that because, you know, maybe that this is just the stopgap measure until they maybe move to something like Shmup Mame, which I'm not sure why anybody hasn't moved to yet, honestly. But there's a lot of, like you said, there is a lot of work to be done, but I don't know. I mean,
there's a lot of work to be done.
We're really negative about a lot of stuff, but going back and looking at it, like, at the time, I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about like all the growing pains. I mean, yeah, you know, like playing original Xbox Reload, Guilty Gear Reload on original Xbox was a tragedy. But at the same time, I was like, well, I mean, they tried. Shit.
I mean, like we were fucking astronauts, man. We were fucking astronauts. We were over here trying to like, you know, like the rocket was not the best rocket we could get, but we were amazed to be on the fucking moon regardless. You know.
There you go. I think that's a good way to put it.
No, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not complaining that netcode sucks. I'm complaining about this is something that is so integral to everyday life with constantly being connected. Why don't we have more people on the case? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I kind of see what you mean.
Like it's such a like vital thing, not just for gaming, but just, you know, infrastructure in general of how we can connect with others. You know, like look at BitTorrent. It's a peer-to-peer client, but why couldn't we have something better than that, or this and that? It's like there obviously this is where we're going to next. We want to have this connectivity. ISPs should be striving and investing into making their things better, not just charging more. There's so much
Google
more
Fiber.
we can do. Yeah, but there's so much more we can do, and I feel like there should be, because like we say Google Fiber, but then we need like 50 other startups who are doing the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Like there's people out there. But I feel like a lot of their time is not invested into the real.
Well, a lot of that actually becomes a problem with cities because you have to get permits and everything to lay fiber.
Right.
But not even just internet, but just like I said, just why don't we have like a Kickstarter for like, you know, the GGPO killer, the Chimera killer, you know, like people who are just
need to kill a free service.
Maybe you're that guy, Anthony.
Maybe.
You mean, well, we did start out talking about, you know, Patreons and whatnot. Maybe that's something that
came full circle in that way.
All these people are working on the PlayStation 9, so we can inhale it, just like in the game.
I thought we were supposed to think it.
No, I thought you inhaled it.
Oh yeah, no. Didn't you see that commercial? Like when PS3 first came out, and they were talking about like, hey, this is what PlayStation 6 is gonna look like, and it's just like a bubble.
Yeah, and you snort it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're just like you're high as fuck, and you're playing, you know, Crash Bandicoot.
I don't want to be high playing Crash Bandicoot.
I know, neither do I. That game sucks.
I don't want to play Crash Bandicoot, period.
Right?
I want to play Jak and
That
Daxter.
game get a sequel anyway.
It got like so many sequels, man. Like I don't know what happened.
Do we have anything else important to actually talk about?
I wanted to bring up that Airplay Bomberman game, but we could probably say that for next week.
Yeah, we'll get the clips later. Don't worry.
I actually have that game. I found it.
That game is awesome.
Seriously,
I did also want to
posted that. We were all losing it.
I also did want to point out, most people who watched us probably already have paid attention to Awesome Games Done Quick, but if you haven't, they're running the world of games right now, and they're raising money for a good cause, prevent cancer. So go check them out. There's some really exciting stuff going on over there. Some really cool runs too.
They're going to be doing a 4-player Mega Man X race. Not 4-player, but 4-man Mega Man X race.
That's cool.
When's that happening?
I forget. There's a schedule out there somewhere. I think it's Awesome Games Done Quick. Look at our schedule.com. I don't know.
I think it's the gamesdonequick.com/schedule.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So,
yeah.
other than that, anybody got anything?
Can we talk about the rains down in Africa?
We could, but we're out of time. All right. So if we don't have anything else, thanks everyone for listening this week. As we rambled about old man bullshit. Yeah, that's it. So from everybody here at Super Desperation Radio, good night and good luck.